A nation shattered, a continent scarred. In the wake of humanity's darkest hour, Germany lay in ruins. Cities reduced to dust, millions dead, a collective guilt heavy as the winter sky. This was 1945, a world recoiling from its horrors, a nation grappling with its very existence. From the ashes, a new kind of silence descended. A silence broken only by the whispers of reconstruction and the desperate, primal urge to find something to believe in again. Amidst the global shame, the isolation, the ideological chasm that cleaved a country in two, something unexpected began to stir. On muddy pitches, with makeshift goals, amidst the rubble, a simple game. A game that, for a wounded people, would become far more than sport. This was never just football. Imagine a country erased, its infrastructure decimated, its spirit crushed, its name synonymous with unspeakable atrocities. For Germany, the immediate aftermath of World War II was not just physical devastation. It was a profound psychological trauma. Cities like Dresden and Hamburg lay as monuments to the cost of total war. Millions of lives extinguished, millions more displaced. The world looked on, some with pity, many with condemnation. Globally, Germany was a pariah. Internally, it was a fractured land, literally carved up by the victorious powers. The Western Allies created the Federal Republic, a fledgling democracy. The Soviets established the German Democratic Republic, a communist satellite state. Two Germanys, emerging from the same catastrophe, now set on radically different paths, divided by an ever-hardening Iron Curtain. A nation of former enemies now had an ideological wall within its own borders. In this abyss of despair, football was one of the few threads that could still connect people, not as a distraction, but as a visceral, emotional anchor. Local leagues restarted against all odds, offered a precious return to normalcy, a common passion, stripped of political baggage, where for 90 minutes, the weight of history could be momentarily lifted. It was the earliest, most tentative step towards healing. Germany was rebuilding more than structures. It was rebuilding its very soul, one kick at a time. 9 years after the surrender, a deeply wounded nation, the Federal Republic of Germany, stood on the precipice of its first true global test. The year was 1954. The stage, the FIFA World Cup in Switzerland. West Germany entered as the ultimate underdog, an amateur side still reeling from post-war ostracism, both economically fragile and politically isolated. The world expected nothing. Their opponent in the final was Hungary, the legendary Magic Magyars, unbeaten for 4 years, Olympic champions, pioneers of total football, led by the incomparable Ferenc Puskás. They had dismantled England twice, humiliated opponents with revolutionary tactics. They were considered unbeatable, a force of nature. To suggest Germany had a chance was unthinkable. The final in Bern, Switzerland was played under a torrential downpour, a fittingly somber backdrop for a nation that had known little but despair. Hungary scored twice within 8 minutes. 2-0. The world watched, ready for the inevitable rout. But this West German team, led by Captain Fritz Walter, a man who had survived the horrors of Stalingrad, possessed something the world hadn't yet seen in post-war Germany, an unyielding, almost defiant resilience. Slowly, painstakingly, they fought back. Goals from Max Morlock and Helmut Rahn leveled the score. Then, in the 84th minute, Rahn struck again. 3-2. The final whistle blew. An impossible victory. A seismic shock. Not just a win, but an exorcism. A nation that had been told it deserved nothing had earned everything. Historians would later describe it not merely as a football match, but as the moment the Federal Republic of Germany truly found its identity. It was a psychological turning point. For millions, victory meant psychological recovery. It meant a collective breath of hope, a shared experience of pride that transcended the rubble. This was bigger than football. This was the miracle of Bern, and it proved that even a defeated nation could rise again. The pressure of history followed Germany onto every football pitch, but in Bern, it became their strength. 20 years after Bern, Germany was still two nations, divided by concrete walls and ideological convictions. The Cold War was at its chilling peak. On one side, the capitalist powerhouse of West Germany, a symbol of economic miracle. On the other, the communist German Democratic Republic, a state struggling for international recognition, its people living under the shadow of the Stasi. In 1974, West Germany hosted the World Cup, a moment of immense national pride, yet shrouded by the inescapable reality of division. And then, the draw, an impossible politically charged reality. East Germany would play West Germany in the group stages, brother against brother, ideology against ideology. Not just a football match, but a proxy battle on grass. The match took place in Hamburg on June 22nd, 1974. West Germany, featuring global superstars like Franz Beckenbauer and Gerd Müller, were expected to dominate. They were the established footballing power, representing a thriving democracy. East Germany, largely an unknown quantity, a collection of state-sponsored amateurs, represented the communist system, desperate for a symbolic victory against their wealthy Western cousins. The atmosphere was electric, tense, heavy with unspoken political significance. And then, the unthinkable happened. In the 77th minute, Jürgen Sparwasser, an East German forward, scored the only goal. East Germany 1, West Germany 0. A seismic shock that resonated far beyond the stadium walls. The mighty West German machine had been humbled by its socialist sibling. For East Germany, it was a moment of profound validation, a rare and cherished triumph on the global stage. It proved to their citizens and to the world that they existed, that they could compete. For West Germany, it was a stinging defeat, a deeply uncomfortable reminder of the division, prompting internal reflection on their own perceived invincibility. This was bigger than football. This was about ideological bragging rights, about the psychological battle for German identity. And this is the part many people outside Germany never fully understood. For one brief, unforgettable night, a football match became the ultimate statement of a divided nation. From the miracle of Bern and through the ideological clash of '74, a formidable identity began to solidify. West Germany, despite the occasional setback, was transforming into a football machine. A team defined by discipline, efficiency, and an almost brutal mental resilience. They weren't always the most aesthetically pleasing, but they were relentlessly effective, unflappable, unyielding, unstoppable. At the heart of this evolution were figures like Franz Beckenbauer. Der Kaiser wasn't just a player. He was an innovator, revolutionizing the sweeper role, orchestrating play from deep with unparalleled elegance and vision. He embodied German precision. Then there was Gerd Müller, der Bomber der Nation. Not conventionally athletic, yet possessed an uncanny instinct for goal, a predatory finisher who would shatter scoring records. And Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, a blend of power, pace, and technique, continuing the legacy of clinical excellence. Their own 1974 World Cup victory on home soil, just weeks after the East German humiliation, cemented this identity. They faced the Netherlands, the inventors of total football, a team that had captivated the world. But Germany, after falling behind early, weathered the storm, fought back, and ultimately triumphed. It was a victory forged in steel, a testament to their indomitable will and tactical superiority. They turned initial defeat into ultimate triumph. This was the era where the fear of Germany began to creep into the psyche of every opponent. Germany was rebuilding more than a team. They were building a reputation, a global perception of a nation that, through sheer force of will and meticulous planning, could overcome any challenge. They instilled a unique kind of dread, not just with their skill, but with the chilling certainty that they would, eventually, find a way to win. So why did the world come to fear them? It wasn't just the tactical brilliance, nor the individual stars. It was the almost mythical psychological edge. Opponents didn't just plague Germany, they endured them. They braced themselves for an endurance test, a relentless pursuit of victory that seemed impervious to pressure. They were the team that never gave up, the team that found a way, the team that could always hurt you in the final minutes. Gary Lineker, the English striker, famously quipped, "Football is a simple game. 22 men chase a ball for 90 minutes, and at the end, the Germans always win." It was a joke born of frustration, but it contained a terrifying, almost prophetic truth. It encapsulated the unshakable belief that defined German football. This wasn't just football, it was psychological warfare, played out on the grandest stages. Tournament after tournament, they would bend but rarely break. Their mentality was their greatest weapon, a quiet confidence rooted in history, in the knowledge that they had rebuilt from despair, and could always find a path to victory. The pressure of history followed Germany onto every football pitch, not as a burden, but as a driving, relentless force. Then came a year that reshaped Germany, not just on the pitch, but in its very fabric. November 1989. The Berlin Wall, a scar across the nation's soul for nearly 3 decades, fell. A crack in the Iron Curtain that shattered into a million pieces of hope. Images of East and West Germans embracing, tears flowing freely, echoed across the globe. A nation, divided for over 4 decades, finally dared to dream of unity. Just months later, in the summer of 1990, the FIFA World Cup took place in Italy. West Germany, still officially representing the Federal Republic, entered the tournament under a unique emotional backdrop. The pending reunification imbued every match with a deeper, almost spiritual significance. The team, featuring stars like the powerful Lothar Matthäus and dynamic Jürgen Klinsmann, became an unwitting symbol of a nation coming home. They marched to the final, setting up a dramatic rematch against Argentina, led by the defiant genius of Diego Maradona, who had tormented them 4 years prior. The final was a tense, gritty affair, a testament to 2 titans refusing to yield. Then, in the 85th minute, Andreas Brehme stepped up to take a penalty. A single kick, carrying the weight of history, the hope of a nation reborn, poised on the brink of an unprecedented future. He scored. The final whistle blew. West Germany were world champions. But as the players collapsed in joyous celebration, as the coaches embraced, it wasn't just West Germany that celebrated. It was a nation on the cusp of reunification, finding its collective voice in jubilation. Football became the immediate, tangible symbol of a new, unified Germany. This was bigger than football. This was the soundtrack to a nation's healing, a collective sigh of relief and exhilaration, playing out on the world stage. The euphoria of Italia '90 eventually faded, but the monumental task of integrating two vastly different Germanys began. This wasn't just about economic and political reunification. It was about reconciling cultures, mentalities, and identities. And football once again became a mirror to these complex societal shifts. Integrating the East and West German football cultures was no small feat. Different systems, different philosophies, different realities. But over time, a new German football identity began to emerge. A new generation of players, born into a unified Germany, began to populate the national team. These were players whose backgrounds reflected a more diverse, multicultural nation. Names like Mesut Ozil, Jerome Boateng, Sami Khedira, Ilkay Gundogan. Faces that told a different story of Germanness. A diverse tapestry woven from immigrant heritage. Football became a powerful, sometimes turbulent, reflection of national conversations around identity, belonging, and immigration. Who was German now? What did the national team represent in this new, broader context? The team was no longer just the German machine of old. It was becoming a symbol of a modern, open, and increasingly diverse society. The pressure of history now included the weight of expectation for a truly unified identity, both on and off the pitch. Germany was rebuilding more than a team. It was redefining what a modern, united Germany looked like to the world. But even the most formidable machines can falter. After the triumph of reunification, German football entered a period of painful introspection. The early 2000s brought not glory, but humiliation. Euro 2000, Euro 2004, two consecutive group stage exits from the European Championships. The unthinkable. A nation accustomed to dominance suddenly faced a crisis of confidence. The German machine seemed to be sputtering, outdated, lacking the innovation and flair that had defined other leading footballing nations. Critics asked, has the German spirit faded? Has the famed mental strength evaporated? This period of failure, however, proved to be a crucible. It forced a ruthless, systematic overhaul. The German Football Association embarked on an ambitious long-term project, rebuilding the entire footballing infrastructure from the youth level up. Massive investment poured into academies, coaching, education, and tactical development. It was a deep, often painful introspection, a recognition that the old ways, while once successful, were no longer enough. The fall, painful as it was, became the fertile ground for a new kind of German football. A more technical, dynamic, and diverse generation was being groomed, learning from past mistakes, preparing for a future that demanded evolution. A decade of quiet, painstaking work. A new generation, forged in failure, refined by rigorous development, was ready to reclaim its destiny. The stage was set for the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. This was the culmination of a footballing revolution, a testament to methodical planning and unwavering belief. This German team was a masterpiece of tactical dominance and technical brilliance. Gone was the perception of a purely functional side. This was a symphony of precision, power, and fluid movement. Their high-pressing game, their clinical finishing, their unshakable composure. It was footballing art, meticulously crafted. The squad itself was a microcosm of modern Germany. Diverse, exceptionally talented, and united by a common goal. Miroslav Klose, the quiet veteran, breaking the all-time World Cup scoring record. Thomas Müller, the unorthodox genius, always in the right place. Manuel Neuer, redefining the goalkeeper role as a sweeper keeper. Philipp Lahm, the understated captain, leading by example. Toni Kroos, the midfield maestro, dictating play with surgical precision. This was not just brute force, it was intelligent football, a blend of traditional German resilience and new age flair. Then came a match that transcended sport, becoming a global cultural phenomenon, etched forever into the annals of football history. The semi-final in Belo Horizonte, Germany against the host nation Brazil. A clash of titans, but one that would defy all logic, all expectation. Brazil, a football-mad nation, was emotionally invested, desperate for a home victory. The atmosphere was electric, expectant. But what unfolded was a spectacle of unparalleled psychological collapse. Wave after wave of German attack, 5 goals in 18 minutes. Klose, Kroos, twice. Khedira, a relentless clinical efficiency that bordered on the cruel. The Monairão Stadium fell silent, an almost sacred, terrifying silence. Brazilian fans, initially roaring, then shocked, then reduced to tears, their faces contorted in disbelief. A nation's hopes shattered in minutes. The psychological mastery displayed by Germany was absolute. Their relentless pursuit of perfection, leaving their opponents utterly broken. It wasn't just a defeat. It was a psychological dismantling on the grandest stage imaginable. A collective gasp felt across the entire planet, one of football's most shocking, unforgettable, and brutal moments. And this is the part many people outside Germany never fully understood. It wasn't just about goals. It was about the psychological triumph, the relentless pursuit of perfection that had become Germany's hallmark, delivered with breathtaking, almost frightening precision. With Brazil vanquished, only one hurdle remained. The final against old adversaries, Argentina, and their talismanic genius, Lionel Messi. A tense, tactical battle, stretched into extra time. Every pass, every tackle, every breath carried the weight of expectation, the legacy of a nation hanging in the balance. Then, in the 113th minute, Mario Götze, a young substitute, produced a moment of individual brilliance, volleying the ball into the net, a single goal. Germany were world champions once more, 24 years after Italia 90, a quarter century after reunification. The team had delivered on the promise of a united nation, a testament to decades of meticulous rebuilding. Symbolic redemption, footballing perfection, the ultimate proof that the systematic overhaul, the investment in youth, the embracing of a diverse identity, had all culminated in this glorious moment. The team had not just won a trophy, it had reaffirmed its identity, its place at the pinnacle of the global game, and its capacity to inspire. For millions, victory meant psychological recovery. It meant pride. It meant once again that Germany could stand tall, united, and formidable on the world stage. But even the most perfect machines can break down. The peak of 2014 proved to be a fleeting triumph, quickly followed by a period of profound disillusionment. The pressure of history, once a motivator, now felt like an unbearable weight. The 2018 World Cup in Russia. Germany, the defending champions, entered with immense expectation. What followed was a spectacular, incomprehensible collapse. Group stage elimination. Defeats to Mexico and South Korea. The ultimate humiliation. A nation in shock, unable to fathom how their seemingly invincible machine had sputtered and died so spectacularly early. The disappointment continued in 2022, further proof that the old certainties were gone. The questions became louder, more insistent. Where was the famed mental strength? the tactical discipline, the unyielding spirit that defined German football. The German machine seemed to be sputtering, facing an existential crisis on the pitch, reflecting deeper societal questions about its own evolution and identity. National debates raged about tactics, about individual players, about whether the team truly represented modern Germany, and whether the relentless expectation had become an unbearable burden. The glory of 2014 felt a lifetime away. For a nation that had so often found solace and pride in its football, this period of collapse was not just about results. It was about grappling with a lost identity, facing the uncomfortable truth that even the strongest foundations can crack. So, we return to the fundamental question: why does football carry such immense emotional weight in Germany? More than any other nation, perhaps, Germany's football story is inextricably linked to its modern history, a constant, unfolding narrative of recovery, division, unity, and identity. Can sports truly help nations recover psychologically after catastrophe? For Germany, the answer is a resounding, complicated yes. From the ashes of World War II, through the ideological chasm of the Cold War, to the joyful embrace of reunification, and the challenges of a modern, diverse society, the national team became a vessel for collective emotion, a symbol of shame, then hope, division, unity, pride, and ultimately even despair. For millions, victory meant psychological recovery, a temporary balm for deeper wounds. They became the symbol of discipline, fear, and identity, not just in sport, but on the global stage. Germany was rebuilding more than a team. It was continually rebuilding its soul, its place in the world, one match at a time, finding its reflection in the triumphs and tribulations played out on the hallowed turf of the World Cup. This was never just football. It was the unfolding, deeply human drama of a nation grappling with its past, defining its present, and striving for its future, against the backdrop of the world's most beautiful game. History shows us where we've been, but technology shapes how we remember it. What you just witnessed, from the visuals to the narration, was crafted using advanced artificial intelligence, bringing the echoes of the past into the modern era. Creating these immersive stories takes immense curation and effort. If you want to see how far we can push the boundaries of storytelling, hit that subscribe button right now. Your support is the only way this channel grows. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next chapter.